Chapter 4: Social Welfare Policy in the 19th Century. As the population continued to rise with people immigrating to the country throughout the 19th century, social welfare began to take the forefront of everyone's minds. Americans developed three kinds of social policies in the early and mid-19th century. This included moral treatment for alcoholism and mental illness. It also provided many Americans with both. Two of the biggest fears during the 1800s were alcoholism and pauperism. Thus, the birth of the temperance and anti-pauperism movements began. At the height of its time in 1833, the temperance movement had 6,000 chapters. The movement was so influential that in the 1840s and 1850s, 13 states enacted. During the same time as the temperance movement, Americans feared pauperism as much as alcoholism. With the mass influx of immigrants that were mostly penniless with no job skills, the first strategy sought to vastly increase the number of homeless shelters and to modify their internal operations to make them truly deterrent. The second strategy tried to establish personal. During this time, there was also a large amount of discrimination against women and Irish immigrants. In 1848, at a convention in Seneca Falls, New York, the Seneca Falls Convention was formed. The 32 men and 68 women created a Declaration of Sentiments. Elizabeth Cady Stanton and fellow feminists also began the fight for equality, but eventually split into the American Women's Suffrage Association and the National Women's Suffrage Association. After the potato famine, about 1.5 million Irish immigrants fled to the United States from 1845 to 1854. The U.S. frequently turned ships of Irish immigrants away. The immigrants lived in terrible conditions with up to 9 people in one room. Cholera epidemics swept through the low-income areas, killing mostly children under the age of 15.